Good afternoon. As of 5 p.m., Ian is still about 5 hours southeast of Duval County and is expected to be just over 100 miles due east of Jacksonville around 10 p.m. tonight. While thankfully the rainfall we anticipated is much lighter than expected, there's still a chance for flooding, strong winds, power outages, beach erosion, and tornadoes. As of just a few moments ago, JEA reports we have about 10,000 customers without power. Jacksonville and the entire county remain under a tropical storm warning, while the coast of Duval County is still under a hurricane watch. It has re-strengthened to a Category 1 hurricane as it passes off the coast of our area. First responders have reported that a lot of people have been driving around our city to sightsee and look for damage. I'm once again asking people to please do not do that. Do not be on the roads unless you absolutely need to. If you live at the beaches, tonight from 10 p.m. to the early morning hours, please stay off the beach and away from beach access walkways. This is where you are most likely to find storm surge and moving debris. Large signs have been blown down, trees have toppled, and there's standing water in some areas. You're putting yourself at risk to be in these conditions, and if you get stuck or injured, you're taking away the valuable resources of our first responders. So please stay inside until this storm moves through. Speaking of our first responders, I want to recognize our emergency road access teams that have been working over the last 24 hours. These teams are made up of men and women from Jacksonville Fire and Rescue, Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, JEA, and local contractors, and are dedicated to clearing roads for emergency vehicles and personnel. 5 separate teams have been working throughout the area, and they've been very busy. As we are getting more rain, the ground is saturated and more trees are coming down. So far, these teams have responded to more than 40 calls, and it's very possible there's more to come. Because we want to be proactive, not reactive, we currently have floodwater rescue teams on standby. They are strategically staged throughout the city to respond to any high water rescues. While we're hopeful we won't see the same impacts as our neighboring counties, we must stand ready to respond. Tidal and coastal flooding are still a major concern as we hit high tide. This could impact the beaches and the St. Johns River. For those in flood zones and low-lying areas near the St. Johns River, please stay aware and vigilant. The 4 shelters we opened 24 hours ago remain open to the public. For more information on where they're located and which are designated for pets and special needs, please go to jacksready.com. Last night, the beaches mayors and I made the decision to close the beaches to the public. Tonight, conditions are very rough and they will remain so overnight. However, as conditions improve, we'll provide an update on this tomorrow. Garbage, recycling, and yard waste pickup is suspended today and tomorrow. I've talked with our solid waste services teams, and those days will not be made up. Normal scheduled collections will resume on Monday. One of the reasons for this, aside from keeping crews safe and off roads, the city's Trail Ridge landfill is anticipating challenges from winds and rain related to this event. By waiting until Monday, this gives the landfill a chance to dry out before resuming normal services. And I just want to reiterate, as this storm moves off of our coast, while it's over 100 miles off of our coast, it is a Cat 1, and there will be some surge, particularly where areas where there aren't dunes. So don't be on the beach. It's a really dumb move to be out on the beach right now. We'll take questions.
Mayor, real quick, you had mentioned you had 40 calls just on service, things like that, but have there been any flooding problems or anything? We've seen minor flooding around the city, but has there been any reports of any problems of that nature?
At this point in time, we've had minor flooding occurring in low-lying areas, but we haven't had calls for major flooding at this point.
And Mayor, you had mentioned also that the shelters remain open, but do you have any idea they remain open overnight, but when you might be closing them down?
Depends on what happens tonight and in the early hours of the morning. If they're needed because of an event tonight, then we'll keep them open, but otherwise we'll make that decision tomorrow.
We've had 10,000 people now without power, so Jay, I don't know. It was a lot less earlier. Has something happened that it increased suddenly like that?
So as the day has gone on, we've had varying numbers of people without power overall. We've turned back power back on for 111,000 customers as the power has gone on and off during the day. And it will fluctuate as the evening goes on. Our peak outage was about 21,000 people. It's gotten down as low as 5,000 and it'll move back up and down. As the mayor said, it's still saturated ground, trees are still there, it's still windy. And so we expect to continue to have some outages tomorrow and through the day tonight and through the day tomorrow.
And I just also then on the coastal flooding situation, I know you had said earlier that this is going to be a problem until Sunday. Not coastal flooding, but the tidal flooding along the river. Is that still?
It's a
gonna be the
possibility. It is a possibility.
Okay.
It's a possibility, and we'll know more through tonight and tomorrow. I think the key for people right now is to know there's still flood risk, there's still surge risk, so just be smart. And in closing, I just want to thank all of the members of the media for all of your coverage of this, for keeping our citizens informed. Thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow.